Hello everyone, my name is Joseph. Today my colleagues and I are going to dive into Shein, a global fast fashion powerhouse that has taken the world by storm. Shein was founded in China and quickly became a favorite among young shoppers. It's known for its meager price, trendy style, and rapid product turnover. With massive digital presence, Shein bypasses traditional retail models and reaches customers directly through its online platforms. It makes fast fashion even faster and more accessible. But this success hasn't come without its issues. Recently, there's been a lot of criticism about Shein's labor practices. Investigations have revealed that some of Shein's suppliers allegedly enforce harsh working conditions, such as extremely long hours, low wages, and unsafe environments for factory workers. This has raised big questions about Shein's commitment to ethical standards and its corporate responsibility. In this presentation, we will focus on how these challenges affect Shein's public image and discuss the OB concepts that help us understand the situation better. We explore Shein's approach to social responsibility and the impact of ethical leadership. Finally, we will provide some recommendations on how Shein could address these issues and work towards more sustainable ethical practices. Next, let's analyze these key issues in more depth, exploring how they impact Shein's reputation, operations, and compliance with essential organizational behavior principles.
A major way Shein achieves highly competitive pricing is by exploiting labor costs. As a prototypical fast fashion brand, Shein has been reported to engage in unethical labor practices such as hiring underage workers and enforcing long 12-hour shifts 6 to 7 days a week, all while paying minimal wages. These practices raise serious concerns in corporate social responsibility, otherwise known as CSR. CSR refers to the commitment of organizations to operate by following ethical policies that have positive impact on society and the environment. In the case of Shein, however, they not only overwork their employees by forcing excessive working hours, but they do not provide adequate compensation, reflecting a lack of such responsibility. This issue is compounded by Shein's repeated pledges to tackle these issues, yet improvements have been minimal. This neglect highlights the disregard Shein has for employee welfare, but also reflects its reputation as an irresponsible and profit-driven organization. Such practices not only damage its reputation, but also underscore broader issues in the fast fashion industry where fierce competition often undermines ethical standards. To foster change, stronger external accountability and consumer demand for transparency are essential, urging companies like Shein to balance profitability with respect for human rights and ethical responsibility.
What is the significance of this issue? In this era of globalization, decent work conditions are legal and ethical responsibility that businesses are supposed to bear. With such a 75-hour work week and unsafe conditions, such exploitation is harmful to physical and mental health, and the companies indicate it takes the front seat in the demonstration of urgent need for protection of human rights in global supply chains. Low labor costs fuel a circle of poverty and inequality. It removes all possibility for social mobility and therefore sustainable economic growth within the producer countries. The effects of ignoring such situations could even spill over into the wider systems and disrupt them altogether. Given the above fact, responsible management of these issues is of vital importance for long-term protection of individual rights and dignity and the integrity and stability of world markets. They underline the urgency with which compliance with corporate social responsibility, regulatory enforcement, and consumer action have to go forward in trying to meet the clarion calls for fair play, safety, and ethical accountability in international supply chains.
Shein's responsible labor practices largely stem from its aggressive business model, which pushes for rapid production at minimal cost. This pursuit of efficiency and cost reduction often goes unchecked due to lenient labor regulations in manufacturing countries, allowing Shein and similar companies to exploit weak labor laws and legal loopholes, thus maximizing profit. The complexity and lack of transparency in their supply chains further negate accountability, making it hard to trace the origins of products to conditions under which they're made. At the corporate level, Shein could do a lot more to follow ethical guidelines, but often they prioritize profits before the well-being of their workers. The constant demand from consumers for affordable, trendy clothes pressures the company into keeping costs down and keeping their production quick, usually at the expense of fair labor conditions. Additionally, global economic inequalities contribute to the exploitation, as workers in less developed regions have limited employment alternatives, making them vulnerable to such practices. This intricate web of issues shows the challenges of addressing labor malpractices in fast fashion. We have come up with a couple of recommendations based on the organizational behavioral concept learned in class. The first recommendation comes from changing the leadership style to take on a stronger ethical leadership approach. The core values of Shein are driven from the desire of higher profits and success, which is reflected through their drastically low prices for the items sold on their website, promoting consumers to purchase more products. Shein follows an autocratic or directive leadership style where leaders provide direction as the experts on the company. Suggestions are not encouraged from the employees because they are just a component of the business model, not contributors of the ideas. This type of leadership does not value intrinsic motivation, which relies on the individual's ability to motivate themselves to perform through the desire to satisfy their goals and wishes. The benefit of this leadership style comes from the ability to produce more results, but the disadvantages are what cause the work environment to be hazardous. The implementation of a democratic leadership style can assist with the structural issues the company has. Having a leadership style that revolves around asking for suggestions from employees and creating a work environment that is beneficial for the employees to work in will drive higher levels of satisfaction with the job. Treating the members of an organization as equals is beneficial to foster group cohesion amongst the members. Prioritizing involvement of each member makes them feel as though they have a purpose in the company.
Additionally, if Shein's top management prioritizes moral actions and ethical practices, this will influence lower-level Shein management and employees to behave ethically too. This is demonstrated in Zhang's 2018 article where they found that ethical leadership promotes moral actions, such as engaging in less unethical behaviors. Currently, top management at Shein is not prioritizing ethical practices, which has led to the use of controversial labor practices in order to increase profit margin. How can Shein implement this ethical leadership? Shein may consider investing in leadership development programs that focus on ethics to strengthen the company's commitment to socially responsible practices. These leadership development programs could include training on ethical decision-making. By equipping leaders with the skills and knowledge needed to navigate ethical dilemmas, Shein will show a commitment to worker health and safety. This focus will ultimately enhance the brand's reputation as well.
Second recommendation is ethical reform through third-party auditing and increasing transparency. Shein's lack of supply chain transparency has conspicuously worsened its ongoing labor rights abuses and raised serious causes for concern about its corporate social responsibilities. To correct this, Shein should consider ethical reform through cooperating with reputable independent third-party auditing bodies such as the Fair Labor Association to audit and report on the labor status within Shein's supplier factories. Studies have shown that third-party auditing effectively fosters transparency and improves labor conditions in global supply chains. Therefore, by collaborating with such organizations, leadership must acknowledge the key areas in their labor model that need to be changed. Shein can establish itself as a more responsible player in the global fast fashion market. To show Shein is committed to improving their ethics, they should consider releasing periodic detailed reports on audit findings, corrective actions, and improvement progress related to detailed reports on audit findings. Research indicates that transparent corporate governance positively influences stakeholders' trust and engagement. Secondly, a mechanism for whistleblowing should be put into place so that the internal workforce can report labor violations. This would create a feeling of safety and empowerment among the workers, identify future issues. The benefits derived from these campaigns surpass simple ethical compliance. Increased transparency and adherence to labor laws will enhance Shein's reputation. This improved working conditions and fair pay lead to better job satisfaction, retention, and productivity. Additionally, compliance with international labor standards would protect Shein from legal and reputational risks in the future.
Implementing these recommendations will come with challenges because the status quo at Shein has always been to maximize profits at all costs. One challenge Shein may face when implementing these recommendations is that shareholders may not agree with the changes being made, especially if these changes will eat at their profits. However, it is important for Shein's leaders to consider the interests of all affected persons, which includes their employees and customers, in order to make the best decision. In addition, there may be pressure to reach financial targets, and ethical reform may hinder those efforts. If the company switches its focus to ethics, this may require cultural and structural changes within the company, which can incur resistance among management and leadership. There may be cases of groupthink where the group chooses to stand by the unethical practices without critically considering the issue at hand. During these pressures, it's important to note the long-term benefits ethical reform and leadership can provide, such as increased consumer trust and brand reputation.
Thank you for listening.